What is up, everybody? Good Tuesday morning. I'm going to do my best to update on what little game is being played in the Big Brother 27 house. I'm going to be doing something that I think I've only done a couple of times this season. And I'm going to have to give Keanu credit because I feel like Keanu is the only one right now gaming hard. So I will always give a player props for gaming hard, and that's what Keanu has been doing. We have this possibility of Keanu and Ashley trying to work together. They bonded over losing Rachel, and apparently Rachel suggested they work together before she left. I mean, it might be way too late for them, though. Typical of Keanu's game, he's come to a conclusion weeks, if not months, too late, and he's never been able to work with women this season, besides, I suppose, Callie a little bit. So I doubt if somehow they both stayed this week, they would work together well in the name of Rachel, but it's good to see them have these conversations. Ashley did pitch to Keanu that if he votes to keep her, she will stay, but she would also need Vince's vote because Ava's going to keep Will no matter what. Vince told Ashley at the beginning of the week he would keep her, but he's telling people he would keep Will. But, Morgan does work hard, and Morgan wants to keep Ashley, so if anyone can make Vince keep Ashley over Will, it would be Morgan. I will say, at one point this week as well, Callie said she would keep Ashley, but Callie lies for the hell of it. It's not even for games. She doesn't play the games, never has. So I don't know. She'd just be lying. She lied to Keanu yesterday that she would think about keeping Ashley, and then went right to Vince and Lauren to complain about Ashley, that she hates Rachel and Ashley. She's still on the hating Rachel bullshit. She hates Rachel and Ashley. It brings out the mean girl in Callie. No, Callie, you're just a weirdo. Callie is... I'm trying to be nice today, but if Riley wouldn't have been casted, Callie would have been the biggest weirdo on this season. She is strange. She's not a good person. And I stand by that comment. Keanu has convinced himself that since Rachel is gone and nobody got to take her out, that taking Keanu out of this game is the biggest move left. And thus, Lauren will win the game if he goes home this week. Now, I don't think either of those things are true, personally, in my opinion. I do think Keanu really believes that because he is delusional. He sees himself as the biggest player left. But I do believe it's also his pitch as to why Will should go home this week, because then it would make both of Lauren's HOHs look like duds. Keanu is really working hard to try and get revenge on Lauren this week for putting him up after he kept her safe last week. Keanu is also convinced that if he goes home, Callie would also take a shot at Lauren, Morgan, and Vince. But he's wrong about that too. Because Callie is, and will always be Vince's biggest fangirl. And Callie has already ratted out Keanu to Lauren yesterday and last night. I'm sick of Callie. Like, her only play all season has been ratting out things to Vince, who then she's allegedly mad at, because he always does things that hurts her, but then she still just goes back to him. That's truly my least favorite kinds of players like Callie, because they're literally non-players and they're just there to help out some really annoying, fallow, sloppy player. I'm also just sick of the Vince show, period. There is no way that a third-rate Paul should have made it so far in the game, and he wouldn't have if this cast wasn't full of non-players. There's been a lot of non-players, people that sleep all day, people like Kelly that do nothing, and people like Keanu that have had one of the worst social games I've seen in a while. Anyway, Ashley and Keanu had some good talks. At one point, Ashley told Keanu, I think I'm more valuable to your game than Will. Keanu agreed. He fully acknowledged that. He said, I don't plan on keeping Will anyway. All he is a placement holder for someone to immediately win. I think Will has a shot to get a winning vote against certain players just because he has had a social game. He's the oldest player. That alone making the end is impressive on Big Brother, especially this season when there's random competitions. It's just a shitty competition show. So I don't necessarily agree with all of that. Let's move on, though. Let's move on to Lauren, because Lauren has, and I quote, added Keanu to the list of people to be scared of. Yeah, Lauren loves the scared word. She loves to be scared of everybody and everything in the damn house. We all continue to question why she was cast in the first place, because why cast someone who is such a non-entity when it comes to the game because she doesn't have an opinion or she's afraid to have a real opinion. She's just afraid of people, period. And she's just terrible television. Fun fact, the first Lauren HOH was by far the lowest rated week of this season. It's going to be again this week because people are pissed off about the Rachel thing. So pissed off that they are boycotting the show. Producers have really shit the bed. But then on top of that, you have another Lauren HOH. Rip to the ratings for sure. All this talk of Lauren in the final two is honestly headache inducing for me. I can't imagine, I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I can't imagine having to watch her answer questions in a final two. Someone would ask her, why should you win the game, Lauren? There will be a long silence, so long that Julie would start getting huffy and puffy and tell Lauren she's running out of time to answer the question of why she should win the game. And then Lauren's answer would be one of the things she says most. I don't know. I just don't know. Because that's all. There's two things she says all day long. She's scared of something and she doesn't know. Truly, Keanu has a terrible social game. Lauren's is 5 times worse because she doesn't know how to talk to people. I don't know if that's a generational thing. I know she was probably in high school when COVID hit. It did damage to the youth if they are like Lauren, because I can't imagine having to try and have a conversation with her in person. All right, I could finally give Keanu some credit for some things I like, though, because, yeah, this is only like the second or third time this season I'm giving Keanu credit for something. But he's been playing it to Vince that if Lauren misses her shot and both Keanu and Ashley stay this week, it's a guaranteed loss for Lauren, and Vince could win sitting next to her. And I do think that's something Vince needs to hear, whether it's completely true or not. Keanu said to him, she will immediately come in second place. You listening to what I'm saying, she will lose to you. Vince says, I lose to most people, so anybody, but Keanu cut him off and says, she loses 100% of the time. I sometimes think it's Vince's game to, it probably is because his whole game is woe is me. It's the woe is me, I'm not going to get a winning vote, so I should just go to the end. He actually might be right about that, though. I don't know if he knows he's right, but he might be right. The slightly better possibility of both Ashley and Keanu staying is Ashley winning the blockbuster. If Ashley really votes to keep Keanu over Will, which I don't know if she would or if she should, but like if the social game continues to not matter the rest of this season because there's random elimination competitions, then keeping Keanu over Will kind of makes sense. But also, Vince is telling Lauren he will vote out Keanu. I do feel like Vince wants revenge on Keanu for putting him on the block last week, even though it will be another person in jury that is against Vince. I don't know. Despite this no longer being Big Brother and it trying to be Wish.com, the challenge, unlike the challenge, there is still a jury vote. And I truly don't know Vince's real thoughts on what the jury will think of him. I don't know if it is a woe is me act, I'm not going to get a jury vote, or if he really feels that way because he has played such a sloppy, messy, blood on his hands game. Did a good job of making Morgan spiral about Lauren and Lauren not liking Morgan, but Vince and Lauren being so close. Morgan said, "It's so hurtful. He is still up there in Lauren's HOH. He ditches me all the time." Ashley tried to get her to not take it personal, but Will and Ashley are sick of Morgan crying over Vince, and they should be. How could they not be? Will said at one point, "If Morgan cries one more time over Vinny, I'm going to lose my shit. I am getting tired of it, girl." Ashley said, "I think she has cried every day the last 4 days, even though she won the veto 3 days ago." So then later last night, Morgan and Vince had their little soap opera. And as someone who covers soap operas on this channel, I don't give a shit about this Morgan and Vince soap opera anymore. So I'm not going to recap it. It's just Morgan being upset because she won the veto, but after winning the veto, Vince spent all his time up in Lauren's HOH. She feels like because Lauren put her up, he should be upset with Lauren too, but he's not. And this is my biggest problem with Morgan and her game, because although she has played a good game at times and she is now winning the competition she needs to win to stay, her proximity to Vince is not a good look sometimes, if not most times. I was having this discussion with someone in the comments a few days ago. The person was saying that players in the game aren't giving Morgan credit for her game, or they're jealous of her game. And the truth is that when it comes to jury, perception can be reality, and her closeness to Vince makes her look like a weaker player who sometimes cares more about Vince than her own game. And that's been Morgan's biggest flaw this whole time, is putting certain players above herself. And yes, at one point she did the smart thing and used the veto on herself and not at Vince, thankfully. But perception has been sometimes in this game Morgan putting others first before herself. Morgan has also questioned the DR, asking her questions how she really feels about Vince. They've been asking her that a lot, apparently. Gee, Morgan, I wonder why they're asking you that question so much. She keeps saying, though, on feeds that Vince is only a friend. She only sees Vince as a friend. But once again, I can see how the perception might be seen otherwise. Anyway, to wind down, Ashley and Keanu both surviving and working together this week is slim. I would kind of want to see it because I like Ashley, but I don't know. Keanu has made the same pitch to Morgan, though, that if he stays, they have a common enemy in Lauren, because like I've said, Keanu really wants that revenge on Lauren. And Morgan and Keanu could possibly work together for a round, but then Keanu is also saying that if he wins HOH, he's putting up Morgan, Vince, and Lauren. So I don't know how that works. Keanu is actually hitting some good points in his pitches to stay this week. I just think that his social game has been so bad that I don't know how anything works out for him to both survive and work together with someone to take out the Vince, Lauren, Morgan situationship triangle. But it is his plan. He's putting too much faith in Kelly, who continues to rat him out. It's actually ironic, though, and kind of, I hate Kelly. Make that be known. And yes, hate is the word. But it is interesting to see Keanu have to deal with the same thing other players, especially Rachel, had to deal with him, is that he's giving Kelly all this information, and what's Kelly doing? Running back that information to Vince and to Lauren. So Keanu kind of getting some of his own medicine, because this cast has been so hard to watch them navigate this game. Truly some of the worst players you'll ever see. And then the show decided to put them on Wish.com The Challenge. Just a crazy season.